Welcome to 10-Minute IELTS. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to answer IELTS listening maps, which is actually pretty simple, but I wouldn't say easy, especially since most students don't really do what I'm going to show you right now, which is to take notes. Now, we'll be using this strategy for the first 6, which I hope will be extremely helpful as you watch me do it. Otherwise, if you have another strategy or technique that's already letting you pass IELTS listening, then you don't really need this video. Just get the job done is my motto. But for those of you who aren't doing so well in IELTS listening maps, I personally like to take notes, just like a waiter who is actively listening to your order. I mean, would you prefer to get a waiter who just nods his head and says, okay, as you give your order? Or would you prefer the waiter who is actively taking notes as you give him your order? I think I personally prefer the one who is actively taking notes, just so that I'm sure the waiter will not screw up my order when it gets to me. So let's begin, starting with this map, and see how that will work.
Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Welcome everyone to the Brandon Complex, the geographical and we could say spiritual heart of this university. This is basically where everyone eats too, as you can see by looking around. There are many different cuisines here, Chinese, Indian and Middle Eastern, plus the usual fare of a local type, all in that corner over there. We have many shops here too, but the biggest is Wilson's right there, providing clothing and hardware. That's next to all the restaurants. Now, on the opposite side of Wilson's we have 3 shops. The one in the corner there, closest to the restaurants, is for DVDs. Yes, the DVDs are cheap and affordable, and you can also rent DVD players as well. Moving on, in the corner directly opposite Wilson's is the Student Union office. Incidentally, you are all encouraged to join the Student Union, as a Student Union card gives you many benefits, including discounts on basically everything you can buy here at the Brandon Complex. Outside this complex, on the other side of the road, you can just see it from here in fact, is a building that we call by the rather unusual name, the H Building. Next to this, on the other side of some trees along the main road, is the Engineering Institute, but that doesn't have anything to do with the Brandon Complex. One last thing is that just outside this door, near us here, you can see a grassy oval patch. Well, that's the playing field for what we simply call the fitness room, which is alongside. So you can put on some calories here at the restaurants and then burn them off at the fitness room afterwards. Oh, I forgot to mention this shop right here, in the middle, beside the Student Union. It's the bookshop, and as you can see, it's always busy, always popular. You can buy newspapers, magazines and stationery there, plus a few clothing items as well, just as you can at Wilson's. Why don't you go and take a look right now?
Okay, so after each section in the actual exam, you will hear something that goes along the lines of, you now have half a minute to check your answers, which is really strange. When I first took the IELTS exam and I was practicing it also, I would wonder, what is this for? I mean, in reality, I would do absolutely nothing while just waiting for the next session to come on. It took me a while to realize that they keep saying you now have half a minute to check your answers because they actually expect you to take notes. And you're supposed to use your notes to check whether your answers are right or wrong. But no one really does that. No one is really instructed or told that either. People just blankly listen, passively listen, write absolutely nothing except the letter of their answer. But when that happens, how will you really check your answers? You can't. You'll just stare at the letters you've picked, whether it's C, H, J, and then just hope or pray that this is the right answer. But yeah, so apparently you are given time to check your notes, which means that you should have taken notes in the first place. Just like what I'm going to show right now. We're going to look for number 1, which is Wilson's. It says here at the top that we started at where everyone eats. That's the resto. And it says Wilson's is right there next to all the restaurants. The only thing that's right next to all the restaurants is letter B, so I'm placing letter B for Wilson's. pretty easy. For the DVD shop, it says here on the opposite side. That's probably on the opposite side of Wilson's. The one closest to the restaurant, so that's right here. So we have EFG on the opposite of Wilson's. But the closest one to the restaurants is the DVDs, which looks like letter G. See that? So I'm pretty sure that DVD shop is letter G when I look at my notes. For the student union office, let's check. It says here that in the corner directly opposite Wilson's. So if Wilson's is letter B, directly opposite that is letter E, which is the student union office. Therefore, my answer to number 3 is letter E. Very easy. And then when we look at Engineering Institute, there's a bit of a long dialogue here. We'll go outside the complex on the other side of this road. He did mention the H building, but he said that they're next to this on the other side of some trees. So I see 3 trees here. On the other side of this, along the main road, which means letter I. That's all I can see, is the Engineering Institution. If you notice, I've abbreviated it. You can also write in this manner. Please don't write whole words and sentences. You can shortcut it however you like. But I'm typing letter I for Engineering Institute, which was very easy. And then for the fitness room, now this one's tricky because we move all the way back. It says here just outside the door. I didn't get this at first, but when I heard the word oval and I was looking at this letter C because it was the only one with an oval shape, that kind of gave it away and let me know that the oval shape is the fitness room. And it's supposedly near the restaurants too. So that's letter C. And then finally, when we move on to the bookshop, it does make a mention that the shop is in the middle beside the student union. And we already answered the student union, which was letter E. So this letter E, that's the student union. In the middle, beside the student union, would be letter F. Therefore, the bookshop is letter F here. So in half a minute, you could do that. Otherwise, if you're not able to do this in half a minute, take note you are given 10 full minutes to transfer your answers. So I think there is so much time to really check your notes, and take note, it's really, really easy if you have notes. Otherwise, if you have none and you missed something, it's pretty much impossible to get it correctly. You will just have to guess and pray for good luck, which I don't really like as a style. Let's do the same here for numbers 11 to 15 and see if that can also work.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10.
They'll usually give half a minute again just to look at questions. If you've looked at the map and the questions and you have extra time, then you may again revisit your notes and answer the questions based on your notes again. So there's really a lot of time to just check your notes if you have them. If you have no notes, then there's really nothing.
Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
All right, let's begin.
During your stay here, you might want to know what there is to do. Let's turn to the plan so I can familiarize you with the layout of the park. Most tourists would choose to stay in our guest house located in the southeast corner. It features 63 tastefully appointed guest rooms, many of which offer spectacular views of the park. You'll find a home away from home at our guest house. But for those who want to experience the natural beauty up close, there is also a campsite. When you get out of the guest house, go straight ahead, turn right at the end of the road. To your left, there is a campsite amongst the trees where you could spend a night under the stars together with owls and chipmunks. If you look at the top left of the plan, you will notice a picnic area. You can either bring your own food, or we can deliver food to you. Barbecue is an option. The business centre is situated directly opposite the picnic area. It provides flexible, fully serviced offices, conferencing suites, meeting rooms, and is equipped with the latest multimedia facilities. Wired, as well as wireless, high-speed internet is available within the entire premises. The centre is designed to cater to both individual travellers and corporate groups. Visitors can also go to the museum, which holds a vast collection that exhibits local history and a natural habitat. You start from the guest house, just turn left at the first conjunction, then walk past the tea house, turn right. You'll see the museum after making the third right. Have you found it? Pretty easy, right? To spend a delightful afternoon with a book and a fresh cup of coffee, you can go to the only cafe in the park. From the guest house, you go straight, Then take the second right and you'll see the cafe right in front of you. You might want to check out our all-season tennis court, which offers instruction for all ages and skill levels. It is
The end of section 1.
All right, just going to pause that there. And let's check our notes. So you'll be given half a minute to check your answers again. In that half a minute, we'll check our notes. We're looking for, not the mill, we're looking for the campsite. So a bit of a typo here. 7 is campsite. And it says here in our notes, stay in the guest house, southeast corner. The campsite is outside the guest house. Go straight ahead, turn right at the end, and that all we see amongst the trees is letter E. So number 7, campsite is obviously letter E. Now, for the business center, we'll have to look at the top left first of the plan, which is pick area. And the business center is directly opposite the picnic area. So if letter B is the picnic area, directly opposite that would be letter A. Picnic area, number 8, would be letter A. And then when we move on to number 9, the museum, start from the guest house, turn left at the first conjunction. So here, past the tea house, and then turn right. So we turn right here. And then on the third right, so there's the first right, there's the second right, there's the third right. So the third right is letter G. Number 9, museum, is easily letter G. And then finally for the cafe, we just, from the guest house, go straight. And then take the second right. So the first right is H, the second right is D. Therefore, number 10, cafe, is letter D. Again, you don't have to take notes. If you can just listen and understand every single keyword and then answer it. But my guess is the reason you are here watching this video is because that strategy either hasn't worked for you or you're just not able to listen and get the answer as easily. So in that case, my only real recommendation is please take notes. They will give you time to check your notes. They'll give you 10 minutes to transfer answers at the end of a listening test in the actual exam. So all in all, you have at least 10 to 15 minutes to look at notes and then pick an answer. And it's really easy when you have complete notes. Otherwise, if you miss just one direction, one word or one thing, it's very easy to screw this up and then just end up guessing and praying for the correct answer. Hopefully that won't be the case in the test. Otherwise, this is it for how to answer IELTS listening maps. Thank you so much for your time and good luck with your review.